Welcome, guys. It's Abraham from Seattle Sports Union. We're here at Pub44 in Linwood, Washington. Seahawks are coming off of a frustrating loss, a game in which they had the game locked up at the end and couldn't get it done when they needed to. The Rams don't have any weaknesses. The only weakness that they have is probably between the ears. We've seen it before from them. They're a very aggressive defense, and what they tend to do is they tend to make dumb penalties. You know, just personal fouls, not like effort, just being dumb. Past Doug Baldwin, past Tyler Lockett, there aren't any other receivers, and that's a big problem. Additionally, if you take a look at the run game, Chris Carson got injured again, and we had to rely on Rashard Penny and Mike Davis. They're good, but they're not Chris Carson good, and that's an issue. Finally, pass defense, I'm not as enthralled about the defensive backs as everybody else is. I think that you know, they're okay, but they're not great. I think they're fine, but not great. They are way above my expectations, and something strange has happened. My expectations have changed this season. At the beginning of the year, I thought they're only winning, 4 or 5 games? I mean, that's really what I think. That's what I thought, and that's what I thought was reasonable. But they're at 4 wins already. 4 wins, and it's halfway through the season. I mean, they're probably going to get 8 or 9 wins. That's above expectations in my book. Ooh, this year, man, you got to take a look at Russell Wilson. I mean, he's been the strength of the Seahawks all year long. He's been the strength of the Seahawks the last 7 years that he's been on this team. The most standout player, I mean, it'd have to be Frank Clark on defense. And then on offense, of course, Chris Carson. We talked about him a little bit earlier. Let me talk about Frank Clark, though. He's setting records for himself in touchdowns. I'm sorry, touchdowns and sacks. What am I saying, touchdowns? But, I mean, he's the undeniable leader who's taken up for Cliff Averill and Michael Bennett when they left on that pass rush. And without him, this team goes nowhere. They got to, probably win 5 more. I'd say 5 more. 9 and 7 just might do it, depending on just based off of how poorly everybody else in the NFC is playing. But it's going to be tough. Got to win against those Packers too. I think the first time I ever watched them probably was when, I don't know, maybe I was 6, 7, somewhere in there. Just remember watching the game on the floor in front of my dad, and had his friends over. It was a great time. I loved it. It was kind of the event of the week.